you the lay of the land and show you what you can do if you come to these parts. For my great-grandparents, they had the fancier living room, dining room, smaller kitchen because their kids were already growing, and then they had an office over here, my great-grandfather, and that's it, and we can carry on. We'll take a bit of a tour. Three guest rooms. One was dedicated to each of the three previous generations, and we named them after those different generations. There's a W.D. and Alice, Frank and Hazel, and one dedicated to my parents, a Keith and Helen room. Then we had some of our kids moved out, and we had another one which we called the ranch hands room, dedicated to people that have worked here at the ranch over the years. And of course the ranch was bigger back then and required more hands, but I guess now that we're doing this whole guest ranching thing, we've got more hands that are around here in the summer too. When we had a fifth room open up, we called it the kinfolk room, dedicated to family members that were not able to stay at the ranch here or moved on and made a living doing other things. Coming over here. So we've got about 25 to 30 head of horses that we use to take people out riding. Different ones are good for different levels of ability, and but we have lots of people come that have never been on a horse before, and our wranglers just coach them through the whole process. The horse experience involves helping to brush the horse, saddle the horse, get coached through all of that, get mounted up in the corral, get your stirrups checked, and then make a loop enjoying the horse in the country. Come on back, pull your gear off, give your horse a brush, and maybe get a chance to feed it some oats out of your hands. Okay, Senor, we're going to talk to them people about Cattle Drive 101, which is one of the things we do here at the ranch. After you've been through the regular horse adventure, then you can get in on what we call Cattle Drive 101, which involves the same thing, helping brush, saddle up, get coached through all of that. But then you maybe make a little bit of a longer ride, and our wranglers will give you the whole talk about what it's like to be on horses and work cattle, and fences that have to be checked, and how the cattle get moved so the grasses get grazed so they don't get overgrazed, overused. So this is a poem that my mother wrote for my dad's folks. It was written for the occasion of their 50th anniversary. They were living in Medicine Hat at the time, and they came out and family and friends gathered to celebrate with them. And this is called The Hillside Ranch, and it was written by Helen Leslie. She became a Reesor. I guess now Helen Leslie Reesor is how you would say that. There's a ranch house on the hillside where they lived for many years, where they worked and raised a family that knew their dreams, their hopes, their fears, where they rose early in the morning, oft in the dawn's gray light, and planned and toiled and sweated through each day till it was night. Memories of all the things they did through the good years and the bad, how they faced the long cold winters, stuck it out and were glad. For spring always came, and with it came new life and springtime joys, new leaves, new grass, new calves and colts, and through the years the boys. Memories that go way back in years, of which great tales can be told, a blizzard sweeping o'er the hills, of cattle dying in the cold, when there was no feed and the icy wind chilled them and drove them on to shelter in brush or coulee, or lie dead in the frozen dawn. Memories of men who toiled for hours to care for the poor dumb critters. It could break their backs as well as their hearts. It was sure no life for quitters. For the elements are often harsh in these old cypress hills, and a cattleman cares for his stock, though he endures heat, pain, or chills. Memories of roundups and brandings, trailing cattle for miles in the cold, often for a price next to nothing when taken to market and sold. Memories of breaking wild horses, it was all part of ranch work then. Bucking broncs and four-horse teams separated the boys from the men. Memories that bring a smile to your lips, some that call forth a real belly laugh. The wonders of spring on the prairie, like the sight of a newborn calf. Oh, things could be so grand and peaceful as you worked in the sun or the rain. Made you feel so good inside, you forgot all the winter's pain. Memories of caring for family and home, and women's work was never done. In sickness or health or grieving, or the death of an infant son. Memories of cooking and baking in the old black cook stove's heat. A branding cruise and haying cruise, so weary, most asleep on your feet. Memories of gardens planted and tended in those years that it didn't rain. You watched them dry and wilting, burn like the hay and the grain. When feed was scarce and prices low, there wasn't a nickel to spare, but you managed somehow to keep going, and you always ate 3 square. Memories of visiting neighbors, trips to town with buggy and team. Being rich enough to own a car for years was just a dream. Memories of friends and loved ones, good times that were fun for all. Of picnics, stampedes, and camping, and of dances you can recall. Memories of schooling and teachers, of boys joining the army to fight in a war far over the ocean. This somehow didn't seem right. But they kept the home place going and worked just as hard as before, till they turned it over to their sons at the ending of the war. I've heard that as you grow older, good memories blot out the bad, and I'm wondering if this is so. Would you, dear mother and dad, turn back the pages of your lives, forget the sorrow and pain, come back to the ranch on the hillside, and do it all over again? Memory or two in that pile of words.